bottom of the standings teams. Echo Fox, Envy, they get these early game leads, but then they just can't close it out.
Right. It's like having that really good no rush till 15. And then unfortunately the other teams are good once they get to the rush. But that first 10 minutes for these teams just goes so well. It's about transitioning into that next phase of the game. Camille Malzahar started off for Cloud9 with Rengar from Envy.
Yeah, and this is what I really liked about the Envy draft, is they pinched jungle, and then they still had jungles to play, and of course contracts to pick a jungler pretty early on. And then C9 even banned Elise Kha'Zix in their rotation in second ban phase, and Lyra still had something that he went ridiculous on. And so Envy, you can even just see the scores at the top right now. If they beat Cloud9, Cloud9 would be tied with Phoenix 1 at 11-5. Putting them down the standings, and meaning that even if Phoenix 1 dropped their match to TSM next week, it's the Cloud9 versus P1 match that would matter for that first round bye. And Envy, on the other hand, they still have a chance to get out of the relegation zone. Echo Fox is right next to them in the standings. Also right above them is Team Liquid with 4 wins, and Envy would be able to tie that up.
Impact gonna get a champion he can do just that with. Rumble locked in, as it has been one of the easier blind pick top laners to go against just about anything.
But you always have to be careful up against Seraph. What's he going to pull out here? Is Seraph finally going to have that match win up against Impact? Because we talked about he's 1-15 in games against Impact. Now he's 2-15. But this could be that first match win in a best of 3.
Brings out Lissandra.
Hey, it's a Seraph special. I mean, we saw the Lyra Seraph special in the jungle with the Nidalee Fervor of Battle, and it worked.
So support lock in, and that Jace. We're looking for more long-range action here from Team Envy. A little bit of a tell to Cloud9. They can start to sort around this, but don't have to change too much at all.
And when you have something that kills turrets so quickly, which have been the siege situations are incredibly weak for Envy, it's been one of their banes. The Ziggs, the Jace seem like great pickups for them. They kind of seem like no-brainers for a team that struggles at killing turrets and staying around the appropriate amount of time. Just make sure they don't have to stay very long.
I like the lock-in of Jhin here, keeping the long-range initiation going, giving the equalizer a little bit more life.
Yeah.
When they escape the fight.
It's kind of an older combo, but it checks out. The Jhin using the ultimate to hit people who are on the equalizer, even slow them a bit too. I know the slows don't stack, but it's still an incredibly potent one. And a lot of damage that could come through. And Sneaky, this just seems like comfort. Your back's up against the wall. Might as well play the Jhin here. One of the champions that he brought into competitive play, but I think you go with the Ziggs again. Ziggs will win this matchup because he has superior wave clear. You have the Karma, which is that wave clear support. And this is a lane where Sneaky may just be playing it under turret for the first 9 minutes, and then he won't have a turret after that.
And I actually like the, not exchange, but Joyce, Karma, Lulu. You pretty much get the same thing out of it. Going back and forth between the champions, I find myself shielding people with Lulu and be like, where's your movement speed?
It's your other ability.
But Karma, that shield speeds him up, so almost interchangeable without the ult being there, Wild Growth. We'll see what else they have in store now for ban phase 2. Talon against Jensen to get him off an assassin.
Yeah, and I think it's them banning out some of those AD mid laners because they have a Rumble top lane. And so you would want something that's a little more AD focused in that mid just to balance out the composition, and you have an AD jungler. So you could actually still run an AP mid laner and be okay. But they just don't want him to have that up against the Jace.
Another Ahri ban over towards Jensen. We saw that as the last one for Envy last time, and Cassiopeia actually taken away from Ninja this time.
Wow. So they assume that that's a... Actually, Cloud9 kind of gave away they don't know where that Jace is going. They banned the Nautilus away, thinking that Jace is not going mid. And that it's, or sorry, that Jace is going mid, it's not going top. And then they ban the Cassiopeia because they assume that the Jace is going to go to the top lane.
Here gets that Elise. It was banned out in game 1 against him. Coming into that secondary phase. And we'll see now, picking for Cloud9. Gonna need that mid lane. Gonna need that support. Look for support here, either or. Like get to counter anything.
We'll pick them both here. Interesting. This will be an all-in in the bottom lane if they go for it. I don't think it's a bad pick here either. It gives them the engage that they need. You think about back to the previous game, it was the Malzahar pick every now and then, whereas this will give them their much-needed assassination and also pick-off potential up against a comp that wants to play back. So I actually think Envy don't put this Jace top, and I think that this ends up being a champion that they flex to the mid, and then they'll use their top laner as a tank.
Be an Orianna here. Could be a Zed.
He might go for it. They banned out 2 assassins. They definitely don't want Jensen on a assassin, and he may just still get one.
They have the AP coming in.
There you
Impact.
go.
We're gonna get Jensen on Zed. Thresh was locked in as well. Gives Sneaky a little bit more mobility on that Jhin to play dangerous, along with his movement speed he gets. And a Renekton for Seraph locked in, also something he loves, and is near the top of that champion pool for him.
Started getting banned out against him, so they don't go with the Shen. They want a better matchup for themselves in the top lane up against the Rumble and a physical damage dealer. So now they have a good mix of physical and magic damage dealing champions on Envy. But Envy is really kind of siege and skirmish oriented. The Elise can pair up with pretty much anybody and do a really good job in 2-on-2s if she gets the jump. And then they are really good in all 5 grouped up or Seraph splitting. So overall, Envy composition looks pretty sound in terms of damage, poke, pick, wave clear. Cloud9, not so much in the wave clear department there. Decent amount of assassination, pick potential. Tankiness is very low though. They're gonna have to rely on Smoothie a bit there. This is gonna be interesting because the damage that Envy do could get very impactful with that Ziggs, with those accelerated shock blasts, and there's nobody to really soak them on Cloud9's side. Cloud9 are gonna have to play fast, and we're not knowing them for being a very fast early game team.
And it's also an even more tricky, slippery combo of Elise and Karma going through the jungle now. Elise repels over the walls, blast cones. These guys are going to be hard to stop if they do get that buddy roam going on again. With Apollo on that Ziggs, he can keep himself on the back line, safely farming like game 1. Cloud9 win, hashtag C9 win, hashtag Envy win. If that's what you're voting for, game 1 over to Envy in a very convincing manner. We'll see what happens here as we get into game 2. Cloud9 recuperating, regrouping, and talking about what happened in game 1. We are on the rift for game 2, and we'll see if they can bring us to a game 3.
No matter what happens here and who wins this series, it's already going to be one that's very different than your average series, because Cloud9, like I said, they haven't won a series where they lost the first game in this split. This would be the first one. Also, for Envy, if they win, they just took down Cloud9. They made Cloud9's race with P1 that much closer. That match is going to mean so much more coming into next week for that first round bye. And because there's so much parity in the league, you want that first round bye. You don't want to have to play even the 6th place team, because it could be Immortals, could be Dignitas, could be FlyQuest, any of these teams on that upswing.
And this becomes almost that trap game that they have to really consider now, right? They kind of left their backs against the wall on that one, said, we can relax, but you can't, because Envy will take control of that.
FlyQuest definitely fell into that trap where they experimented a lot with their picks, but preparing for Envy, it's a different beast. Nobody would have prepared for the Nidalee jungle with the fervor of battle. That is a really strange pick to bring out. Envy were prepared for it. They had banned out 3 junglers already, and they wanted to pick that as the tier list started going down.
And in the end of it, Nidalee's not going to completely carry the game for you. They've played against it. It's a champion. They can stop it. The aggression Lyra played it at, though, with what he used was crazy.
It's stylistically different, too, with the Trinity Force. It's going to split push and get you those turrets.
Things starting off here for game 2. We get minions bouncing off each other in the middle, and the camps have spawned up. Looks like Lyra's going to get out of this one clean. Contracts a little help on blue. So each of the teams will know as the top laners get there late, or already now, that the bottom laners are there. What the path could be.
Hakuo did not go for the Wind Speaker's Blessing. Instead, decided to go for the Thunderlord's Decree. So interesting mastery choice there. He's just looking at damage, thinking that this is going to be a bully lane. But I feel like getting Thunderlords off on Karma, a bit challenging unless you can get the W on them. The ticks of damage will help you out there. So it's not something on demand like a Zyra, etc.
Nice blast. Hit between each one.
Gets Storm Raider Surge and just runs right out. I mean, this has been Seraph's final boss in the top lane, too. Impact has been that one guy that keeps beating him pretty much every time. Now he's got 2 games to his name, but no series. If he could take this over Impact, it'd be huge. Huge confidence booster for Seraph. I mean, you'll take whatever you can get. I feel like that's a situation EnVy's in right now, where they can play upset, avoid relegation, not get playoffs. It's like, we'll take what we can get, we'll have fun doing it, but this is also a team that's trying to get better for the future. They're trying to get better for staying in the LCS, and if they're turning on this late into the split, it's a bummer, but at least the team is getting it together, right? It's better late than never.
That's what we've seen from them before as well. Coming towards the late of the split, a late game surge, and finding a way back in. It's just that they can control that from the beginning of a split now is when it's really going to count for them and they can make a mark.
Hey, EnVy did that last split and then they fell off. They have to be consistent. It's interesting though, because this team always seems to have some type of struggle, whether it's the late game or the early game.
Ooh, connects on the edge of the hitbox. They're gonna get the play back. Satchel charge, walked it out. Yeah, very nicely added on the damage back. Inner flame going out. Oh. Lyra finds contracts. Volatile Spider will add a bit more damage. And now they are privy to the jungle knowledge.
You can just see how much damage Lyra did there too. Even without landing the cocoon and getting the follow-up, it was still enough to chunk contracts out, who was a level down. Now gonna have to go to the other side of his jungle there, but that gives Lyra complete agency over the jungle for a bit. His lanes are now safe and get to play aggressive. And Seraph kind of losing that trade.
Not going to do him any good either, being this low up. Knows his jungle's there. Could be baiting that in, but
Smoothie
stuff up.
Smoothie was on the right side of mid for a moment there. He was roaming up, and it just looked like Smoothie will constantly roam towards mid when he can to try and help Jensen out. Try to get that mid lane going.
Great timing from Cloud9 here. We just had a ping go back onto the Krugs, which means Impact going to play safe. Might be calling for a bit of aggression on that side. Another ping in mid. Ninja was actually hugging the top brush, so they think that Lyra is towards the top side of the jungle, at least.
Oh, he hit him.
Top or bottom.
That was nice. Impact's so good at that. Impact threw in Electro Harpoon. He got the feedback sound, and he was alerted.
Yeah, they're not leaving anything to chance. All those calls came out immediately to say where could Lyra be. He started off way too quick last game. Already was in Contract's jungle. They got to keep tabs on him. Negatron Cloak, or yeah, Null Magic Mantle, I should say. Going in for Seraph. Just a few control wards. Oh, great hooks by Smoothie in the bot lane, continuously hitting. Gonna have to start gaining some respect here. Their follow-up, though, is what they seem to be losing a bit of the damage on.
And this is great because I was talking about how this is a shove lane for EnVy, where they want to have that Ziggs and they also want to have the Karma just wave clear and keep pushing. But the Thresh provides so much threat on the side of the wave that if you're throwing Qs at the wave, you're not hitting the Thresh, you're not providing threat on him, you're not doing any damage, and he gets to freely look for hooks. And Apollo, super low on mana. You'll run out of mana until you get that last chapter, the lost chapter, and you'll be good to go.
Technically, the found chapter.
It's true.
Yeah.
It was the lost chapter.
Indeed. It's okay, though. Control ward for Contracts to hover over. Looks like he's just going to be here for pressure. Sees that. Takes it out easy. Good wards on the side of EnVy's Raptors, actually. They're going to see the movement here coming in from Ninja.
See if he checks the bush. Yep. Don't know what... Yeah, I think he saw it. He did.
He's just saying, let me look around. It's a little too quiet.
Yeah.
We did just know that Contracts was up there, so everybody playing really safe here in game 2. Already had a few kills coming in the previous game.
They're going to try to... there's no blast cone for them to go over, but this is going to be a flank in.
Ooh.
Oh, Apollo, he might be cut off here. They have to get... Lyra has to find a way to get here.
Flashes through, ward goes down, gets the heal. Nicely done.
So
now Lyra's going to try to come in, holding the cocoon, make sure everybody else was in range, but they say not worth. We had to blow quite a few sums to start that one off.
Yeah, it still had flashes on that bottom side.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go for the flash cocoon or anything like that. Does get a heal out, and that's actually going to be a sacrifice of Lyra not getting his red buff, but he'll keep, I believe, pushing the bottom side. He's still in that cluster on the minimap of Apollo and Hakuo who want to push the wave out to back and get that lost chapter.
Seraph also on this Renekton, not needing too much help, which frees up Lyra a little bit. He can easily farm under his turret against Impact and stay healthy with that call. First invade down towards that bot side. Not really coming of anything. We do see that Cloud9 is just trying to put their foot forward first this game, though, and not let Envy get that early game lead. 400 gold, so they're doing good so far.
Yeah, and they need to win the early game. They need to have a good early game here. This composition is pretty much get in, get out. Ooh. But Jensen has ulti, though, and Ignite. Oh, barrier? That might be too... Right on time, actually.
Barrier choice was there. He does have the Ignite, so Ninja says, I'm going to go ahead and run heal this game to make sure I can get everything I need out of saving myself from a death mark. And he comes up on top of that play.
Oh. Impact going in.
Dominus not going to be doing too much, saving Seraph's life. But everybody trying to get somewhat of their own solo kills in here. A little bit of action in the mid from teams and junglers. It looks like it fizzles out once again. Sneaky returns back to bot lane. And really nobody has a lead in that CS either, if we look from lane to lane. So very much an early game, which what history should tell us is going to favor Cloud9 in the end.
Yeah, this is where you try to make a play with Smoothie. He could Lantern contracts in if he goes for successful hook. Oh, doesn't have to flash either.
The play start. Apollo's placements of the satchel continuously getting him to safety. This one should be an easy one to just stand in front of. They close down the curtain call, and they stop the TP with the box.
Yeah. TP from Seraph just to kind of say, hey, I'm here. You have to at least pay attention. Impact blew his TP, I believe, to get back to top lane. So Seraph used his to dissuade the curtain call from continuing. But Apollo, I got to say, had those dancing shoes on.
He's been doing some great dodging on this Ziggs. Really placing the forethought of the satchels in a spot where it's going to deny the distance of Cloud9, but also only need a few steps to get him to the right side of it. Been 100% on his saves. Even with sums down, it's been a tricky bot lane to kill. Impact floating back towards the top side, close to Azanya's. I was just say close to Haunting Guys.
Yeah.
And then Azanya's after he gets his items completed.
Take the arm guard for the early stuff.
Yep.
Apollo gonna try to clear the wave out. Boom, boom. Now he wants to back. Possibly, let's check his gold, complete the Morellonomicon. He's almost there. It's pretty good. Still needs a bit more, so he doesn't want to completely back just yet. You want to have the back timing. And also, Sneaky, not too much mana, so you don't have to be too afraid of the Jhin. The root is actually quite expensive. Costs 60 mana, and he's got 160 right now, but then you spam the dancing grenade for about the same cost, 55. So if he's trying to wave clear and push it up, he won't have enough for that, so you'll see him just kind of take it slow.
Yeah, it's not the Lulu anything either in that bot lane for him. Thresh isn't the best wave clear assistance.
Yeah. You know,
putting Flay down.
Auto attacks, a little extra damage on them.
Every so often, if you're not auto attacking. Whoop, Inner Flame, nice damage. Doesn't get the secondary, but still calling Sneaky away from the minions. He doesn't lose too many. Everybody's really hesitant, other than the few engages we've seen. There's so many wards, I guess it's slowing things down, but Lyra will say, all right, I'm gonna take a different path, and I'll sneak over Dragon.
Yeah, and this is the Cloud Drake, easiest one to do. Single target damage, no splash damage, so the Spiderlings can all tank it. It's confused!
Oh, he's healing.
Yeah, I had no idea what it wanted to do there.
I don't want to look at you.
Don't look at me. That's good to go, though. Cloud Drake going over to Envy.
Some quick clears from Jensen's Shadow. He's actually out of energy right now. This would be a pretty hectic fight if Ninja were to go in.
Yeah.
Decides not to, though. Yeah. It would have been back fast, just not for the time.
Yeah, and you can see that whole area just covered in control wards on the top side. That was 3 control wards there for Cloud9. 1 in that pixel brush, 1 in that side bush, and then 1 right there. So they're definitely trying to keep top side between Impact and Jensen, their solo laners, alive. And Lyra, that's a nice sweeper from Lyra. He knows they know the timer. So walks up, makes sure that they're all good to go.
Nice dodges by Ninja.
Words today have actually been quite hard. I don't know what's up.
I'm going to blame it on the weather. Sometimes it just gets to you.
It's been a bit foggy lately.
There you go. foggy weather, foggy brain.
Oh, this could be just a smite away, right? Yeah.
That doesn't feel good at all. Seraph as well trying to back right in the middle, which is also going to pull Lyra into the fight. Envy trying to get themselves into a position to recuperate now. And it looks like this is finally Cloud9 getting a little bit of movement for themselves. But nothing in place to really act on. No minions in the mid, no minions pushed up top. They're just looking for these kills.
Yeah, they're just trying to invade, get that red buff, slow Lyra down. I feel like if you slow Lyra down, you slow down Envy. Yeah, threw it straight, and then it was a dodge up. Nothing too fancy, as everybody just kind of resets. And Seraph, not going to complete the Maw, going to go for the Black Cleaver next. Right thing to do. This is welcome to Farmville.
Yeah. Stay up top. Teleport when you need it. So far, we've only seen the teleports come in to kind of pull a hesitation on Cloud9's initiation in the bot lane. They had to call off the curtain.
Yeah, all these wards in the enemy jungle for both teams what really slows down those plays or prevents those plays. Because when you know where the enemy jungle is, that side just plays safe. Sure, you'll take a CS hit of like 3 CS or whatever you decide to sacrifice, but you're not going to die, and that's what's worth it.
Pretty good wards around mid here for Envy. Could allow Ninja to start getting some Fog of War, Shock Blast in. Really give a potential of starting a fight off in their favor. Right now, it's just Jensen going to be looking for a death mark target. Everybody's pretty squishy to start things off.
It's a lot of damage.
Yep.
It's telling Hakuo, you should build AP. I like it. He's got Thunderlords, like I said earlier, but he's also maxing Q, the Inner Flame, so he has extra poke damage. He's going with the Man Karma. So none of that shielding stuff here. None of that Windspeaker's Blessing nonsense. This is that Karma before Windspeaker's Blessing was a thing.
You don't need shields if the other person's dead.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's the best form of CC.
Got that logic. Things still close out of this laning phase. A bit of discrepancy from Sneaky now, 152 to 135, but Apollo's still going to be able to fire in the bombs from the back line, doing AoE damage. So it almost doesn't matter at that point.
Oh, he sees contracts there. Oh!
Ooh!
You could see him with the ward afterwards, but that was nice. He's got 8 legs, moves all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Good to go. Probably a little bit broken that he has 8 legs for dancing.
You would know. You're good at dancing, Irene.
Don't have 8
legs.
legs.
What could you do with 8 legs? I mean, yeah, right.
You have no idea.
Whoa! Oh, close from Lyra. He actually wants to bite back, as that would have been Hakuo just on the bottom side. So Ninja and the rest of the team still looking to pull the trigger when they feel like they have the chance. They would have been in and out on that one. Now again, we go back to a bit of a lull. Farmer in the bot. Seraph looked like he may be able to get a ward here that Envy can act off of.
They're going to collapse because they know that the blue buff is coming up, and Seraph just dipped out of lane. So now I think Lyra's going to check this. Smoothie is here, though. That is the unexpected part.
Oh! Hello! I don't even think Lyra thought he was that close. Might have been looking at the mini-map or somewhere across. Over, flashed into the brush to try and make him think he flashed over the wall. Not going to work. A double kill coming in for Impact. What a great equalizer over the wall for Cloud9 to party on.
It's exactly what Cloud9 needed, getting themselves an advantage in the early game here with this composition. 2 kills going over to Impact on that Rumble, and he's going with the full penetration build here. He has those 2 items that are going to help him out with that spell pen. So he's good to go on this Rumble. He's going to add that magic damage to this composition that's mostly physical.
I love seeing it. It makes me a little sad when you see the Rumble have to put Mercury Treads in or something else to deal with lane or the composition. The pure damage is what we want to see coming out of those rockets falling from the sky. Ninja under the turret, a little bit of hesitation. His top goes down. He'll keep himself safe. He likes the aggression he has on Jensen as well. Watch this fight one more time from Sky King.
Lyra gets almost blown up, then goes over the wall into Impact. Almost flashes into the bush, but it doesn't matter. He was still cooking.
Yep.
There's already a ward there too, and a great equalizer, like you said. But yeah, the fact that Smoothie was there was kind of the kicker. Karma shows up too, but Lyra's just face checking at that point, and that's just, I don't know, he's going way too far forward and not expecting the Thresh to be there, which, oh, granted. Hold on.
That was close. Apollo looking for the quick satchel, almost put Lyra to his death. Curtain call comes out as they try to figure out where Lyra actually went. He falls down with about 75% HP, so not too worse for the wear.
Ocean Drake is up, and Envy want to contest this area and want to make it theirs, and they have all this warding around it, whereas Cloud9 put a lot of their wards on the top side of the map.
Nice Fog of War hit. We did see him quickly change into hammer form for a bit of that speed up. Possibly the initiation onto Jensen with his barrier there.
Yeah, when you have the Storm Raider Surge, if you can get him with the accelerated Shock Blast, just run right at him, put you in range for the Q. Oh, I think Seraph's going to start up the red. This is heavily warded, though. Impact is winning this side of the map. Oh.
Got the hot foot.
But nobody's here to help Seraph.
He's like, all right, I wonder where he is, because that was far away. You can see him on the ward now. Gonna go ahead and get the call out, actually. Throws down Dominus. Actually gets the double attack from his Ruthless Predator. It looks like he's gonna be out of that one.
Yeah, got the red buff, got out. Does know that there's a pink ward in that area, too. So Seraph has some knowledge, but he's got the red buff, so he'll heal up. Red buff gives you % missing HP every few seconds, and it just ticks up very quickly. You can see there. Constant 27s, and he's back to full.
Push on that mid lane. Leaving it about just 1,000 HP right now for C9. We're looking at a little bit of damage on Envy's turret as well, but we're still waiting for that from Envy's side to get some golden on those objectives. Two dragons, rather, to them. Cloud and Ocean will help them stay out, get these pokes in, and definitely put a little bit more pressure on the lanes. Such a different pacing. That Rift Herald went to Lyra much earlier last time. Envy was all over the turrets already and warding inside of Cloud9's jungle. So Cloud9 really just stopping all that altogether.
Yeah, none of that nonsense. And like, let's slow it down. Up against Envy, slowing the game down is something that you can do. You just ward your entrances. You can collapse on Lyra, just like what happened before, because Lyra's an incredibly aggressive jungler. If you don't get those types of leads as a jungler without invading or being aggressive, yeah, there's always some risk to that play. Even think like Dardoch, what he was trying to do today with the invade on Rengar, and then gets caught out because of an early ward at level 3. It's those types of plays. It's a team game to shut down the enemy jungle. It's also a team game to help your jungler out. But if Cloud9 are shutting down Lyra, stopping him from getting into these lanes, stopping him from having those Elise dives, then yeah, they're in a good spot. And Ninja's gonna check this, get engaged on.
Ooh. Tries to find him to get the hammer mode. The ultimate from Contracts keeps him in Viz and keeps him safe. Oh, going out of Lyra as well. So he's just trying to kick him off of having position in that mid side. Yeah. Really just starting to control Envy's position in the map.
Yeah, they're going to kind of herd them towards mid, but also get this bot turret with their 2 damage dealers here. Easy pickup there for Cloud9 as they start getting themselves a 4,000 gold lead.
This is what needs to happen for C9 towards the end of the split. Having a weak early game will be punished by teams like T1, teams like TSM, if they're able to control the first 10-15 minutes, because those are teams that know how to transition that into the mid game.
I mean, it gets punished by Envy in that game 1. So if Cloud9 are able to shore up that early game weakness, they'll look like a more complete team. It's one of the reasons they started falling out of those top spots and started losing games. They looked untouchable at the start. There were even questions of who's going to beat Cloud9.
Yeah.
And it didn't really happen until that second half started coming around and started dropping games.
Teams getting a little bit better themselves.
Very true.
Figuring out other teams. Patch changes as well. Flipping a few things around and allowing more versatility. I think we've only really seen Cloud9, a team like Immortals, be able to deny all of that only a few times and have a almost perfect record.
Yeah, and the patch changes definitely help teams like Envy that are really unique in what they play and don't always conform to the meta. They make their own meta, and it seems to work out sometimes. Like Seraph, I'll actually just use Lyra as the direct example from the previous game, playing the Nidalee in the jungle. Seraph usually has one of the most unique champion pools. We always do those stats on how many unique champions he's played. It's usually number 1 or 2 in the NALCS because he's playing those things or out of meta. Trying to engage here. Apollo.
Oh, nice. Shadow in, almost takes down Haku at the same time. I was trying to make sure he didn't go for it. Smoothie could get the aggression, but a deadly flourish locks down Seraph. Apollo's been the only one to fall as I say that. Hakuo finally gets cooked up as he even tries to enter the fight. Impact comes back out of the left side of the jungle. Says, actually, we own this area.
Yeah.
Right now.
Impact is just like turning on the flame spitter and people are kind of throwing themselves into it right there as well. Apollo is like put himself into the oven. Oh.
Baits it in, repel back out for Lyra as he almost goes down. And even overheated, he's able to get himself out safely. Impact and the team draw away from this one. 2 kills for themselves, and Lyra actually has to limp away as he heads back into the jungle. We'll see the initial fight here and how it started.
Yeah, evolution from contracts, Q into the W, so now he has these slow. So he throws these out, doesn't hit anybody, but now they're just trying to layer, like we said, at the champion select point, that you throw down the curtain call and the equalizer. All right there, Apollo satchel charges himself into Impact, just right over the wall. And at Impact, Aquo is trying to find a way in, but he can't really get it, and he gets cooked there. But they do get a counter kill. It's 2 for 1.
Yep. Man, it just seemed like a few minutes ago that was just a haunting guys for Impact. Now it's the Zanyas and even the large rod and the finish Leandries. 3-0 and 2 replicated by Jensen as well in the mid lane with the same score. And that's, your solo laners are winning that hard. Cloud9 should be able to control this one quite steadily, but that's not going to stop Lyra. Speed up from Hakuo going in, and they still feel like they have an upper hand here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's a teleport on Impact. He has that ultimate. And there's a Jensen flank from the back, so if they retreat into Jensen. Oh, Lyra.
Equalizer thrown down on the backside. Apollo is just living on it, down to 200 HP, 400 for Lyra. Ninja and Seraph. Oh, he goes to get over the wall, and he's flayed backwards by a Smoothie for the slice, and he gets diced down. One last shot as Sneaky flashes forward to solidify the kill. And a very aggressive push in for the Dragon onto Cloud9 by Envy.
Yep, Envy are going to lose that team fight. Cloud9 are going to take that one. Also have to welcome everybody from NALCS 1 over here. Envy took game 1. It was a pretty long one. It wasn't like 50 minutes long, but it was still one that Envy owned the early game, and now we're looking at a game where Cloud9 are owning the early game after slowing it down.
We'll see now with their minion waves as well. This is kind of a difference. We see with Envy's early game, they continued to have a lead, but took a bit of time in the lulls we saw to get those minions in place. Cloud9, a team that usually has that ready, results in that turret right after Dragon. We'll see this again.
Yeah, I really like that stat that dropped down 17 and 2 for Cloud9 with 25-minute gold advantages. Their early game, not always there, but their mid game, when they have a lead, they know how to close out. Lyra here, kind of silly that he went down. Seraph and Ninja look like they're trying to play hero duty, and then Lyra flashed the wall anyway, gets Seraph killed because he tries to E over the wall and gets played out. Whereas Seraph and Ninja probably could have just left on the same way up top if Lyra was going to flash the whole time. So, rather odd. Got his team killed there, but I mean, I was talking about Lyra being the heartbeat of Envy. Right now, a little cardiac arrest right now.
Get out the defib. We might be going to a game 3. We see the damage here strewn about from the last fight. And pretty close from the mid laners. But that difference of how much impact can put into the fight, as well as contracts being alive a little bit longer. A little painful. We saw the flash forward from Sneaky as well. Always seeing a flash to end a kill, especially from an AD carry. Worth it to basically ace the other team, but it shows how confident they are as well. They're pretty immobile on Jhin, but Sneaky's like, flash the kill, we'll be fine for the next fight. We're controlling the game. Kind of shows you how Cloud9 feels at the moment, and they are continuously pushing their advantages.
Yeah, and they own this top side of the map. They've actually owned this top side of the map ever since Impact started winning this top lane matchup. That turret went down. They started getting all of that vision control. They contested the red buff twice. They're taking it away one of those times. Cloud9 pretty much just have full agency in the top side. Ninja a little bit too far forward, even though that seems like a safe spot because it's right in front of your tier 2. It's still not safe enough.
Pushing them off. Impact routing behind the defenses. This top lane is pushing in. And bot lane going to be needing respect here from Envy quite soon. Looks like C9 is going to give them a little bit of that room here as they'll back up and set up a little bit more towards that top side.
And I like the build that's coming out from Sneaky. Went for the lethality early with the Youmuu's Ghost Blade, and now he has the Infinity Edge for those enhanced crit damage. And then now he has the Zeal, so I'm assuming a Rapid Fire Cannon next, so it's lethality for the early smoothness in the build, and then he starts going into a crit build, which is just a little bit more synergistic with the other items that you build later on in the game, as opposed to stacking lethality.
Giant's belt in for Lyra. He gets a little bit tankier.
He's pretty much full tank, as opposed to the way that Meteos builds the Elise with Leandri's going for the penetration.
Good damage from Ninja. So the team is happy to see that he can still put that down right now.
Blasco?
Oh, he flashes in front of it to hopefully get it.
What? He helped him.
Yeah, he moved away so he could actually get the hit on that. Here comes the attack kill coming in from Apollo. Quite a bit used, actually, just to take down Impact. Where is Cloud9 going with this?
Yeah, that was 2 flashes for 1 flash and a kill. And that leaves their top side and mid vulnerable here, as Seraph now is alone in the bottom side pushing it out. They just have to kind of do something about Cloud9 in this jungle here, because EnVy do not have control of their topside jungle, do not have control of the Baron area. And they have no turrets, so they really don't have much on this map.
And they're getting run back and forth. Very big chance for situations like Ninja to go down before they can actually regroup towards the top side. You can see Hakuo even meeting contracts on the way there. Just a few steps out of position, really playing in favor of Cloud9 here as they can go back and forth. And a ping on that bot side turret just came out. We'll see who actually decides to head down there. Impact, as expected. Hopefully the team can hold off. They're saying, let's get this turret, make sure that pressure is known, and then they could probably work something even stronger topside. Oh yeah, he doesn't go all the way there. He's going TP mid. This is not off the fountain, so he's going to be coming in slow. He actually has Apollo right in his clutches. He gets behind Ninja, Lyra as well, trying to find solace behind the team.
Where's Hakuo
going to go? Already used the Mantra Shield, so he can only deliver 1. Ninja almost goes down. Ooh. Just coming out of the Zanyas. Nice prediction from Apollo, but just not enough damage yet.
Yeah, just barely. Almost there.
Yeah.
But Impact now doesn't have the teleport. Seraph does, but it's still a bit of a mismatch.
A little bit of chaos. But EnVy so low here as they're getting the things that would help them kind of counter the sieges that Cloud9 are doing. And Ninja's going to have to go back before he can use his blue buff to do any good damage. Cloud9 has already left the situation anyways, as they are in and out, in and out. Quick attacks. If they don't get it, they're fine with going back and resetting.
Ninja's starting to get his build online. Bought the last Whisper, even though there isn't much in terms of armor on the enemy team. The Ninja Tabi, since the last Whisper is now 45% bonus penetration, you will get about 15 out of that, very close to. So it's a decent amount, equivalent to a lethality item, but he still doesn't have his Youmuu's. It's been quite delayed in this matchup. But he's looking for that, and as soon as he comes online, and Apollo does as well, they'll be looking for some damage from EnVy's side. And the longer they stall it, the better it's going to look for them. Cloud9, I don't feel like they want to do that. Cloud9, they're that mid-game team. They're that late-game team. See how they play around the Baron and try to close it out once they have this ocean break.
Cut him down. Cut it down, drink it up. Dragon clap from the crowd.
Yeah, it was like, it's an ocean one, so I don't know if I should be clapping or not.
But it was good. Altogether, 2 oceans are going to be very nice for the situation at hand, as they are in the lead, and we've seen them kind of stay out short extended periods. Whoop. And in for that one.
Okay. Yeah, you got the Locket shield there from Smoothie. Ooh, nice kill. First turret for Apollo. First turret for EnVy there.
Yeah, they needed to open up the map.
They're only 4K down now. Impact has no teleport. Impact on the bottom side of the map. EnVy gonna try to make a power play for that mid turret, and now the top turret. They have the damage to do so. Seraph will try to hold off this mid. That middle turret is actually quite low, and now he wants to clear the minion wave out. Contract's gonna have none of that, but this top lane just rotating in between.
Oh, they gotta be careful. Rumble's just behind them. They don't see the damage that Impact is bringing yet.
Cocoon. Oh.
Just out of range. They jump over to Seraph. He thinks he's safe. Team just above him. Redemption coming down. 516 back onto the Gator. And he's going to be safe.
Now it's the wave clear game. Again, Cloud9, low wave clear composition, high wave clear for Envy via the Ziggs. So it's so hard to get to these turrets. You see, even though there's this lead for Cloud9, they can't get these outers just yet. They have a really low bottom outer turret, or inner turret, really low mid inner turret. So Envy are playing defense all right now, but Cloud9, part of it is that composition. They want to play fast, want to play loose, want to have those skirmishes. But you got to fight over objectives. You got to force stuff.
Yeah, going up to the turret, Ziggs is basically just going to shut you down each time you get up to it.
Yep, they got to control the jungle. They're doing that right now so that they're... Oh my god, they caught Lyra out of position.
That's not yours.
Yeah, Lyra face checking there. That might be Baron, because now it's no 50-50 on the smite. And you have a Jhin, so if you synergize the Jhin 4th shot with the smite, it's an easy kill.
This is where the situation of having sometimes a level 1 sweeper comes into play, being able to get that sweep out without putting yourself in a dangerous position. Flash here from Hakuo, resolve onto Smoothie, but it's not going to matter much. It's C9 turning for the fight as Envy tries to take it here, stopping Baron with Lyra down. 2 more members will fall fast, Apollo and Seraph, to try and hold the base. It's a Seraph already in the bot lane. He's not going to be able to back too fast with now Impact on his tail. Yeah,
chase him down, Impact. Don't let him go.
Yep, play the stop game.
Chase the gator. Oh, he has to go back. All right. Still, it's enough time for them to actually get this top inhibitor. That's exactly what Cloud9 wanted. As soon as they got Lyra there, they got that pick. It's so important because they controlled the top side of the map. They made sure that they had the vision. Lyra face checked it. Apollo, I believe, had a blue trinket up at that time. And so the communication there should have been more on, hey, let's go for that blue trinket instead of this face check. Cost them the Baron. Might even cost them the game here because that's a big one for Envy.
Cloud9 with their focus on that mid lane, getting those kills without the, or with the exception of top, I should say. Lost a bit of pressure in bot, so we'll get that pushed up now off that objective side of Baron. And they can start working anywhere on the map they really want to. Elder Drake will be coming up next as we're 35 minutes into the game.
Yep, and Cloud9 have done such a great job of controlling vision in quadrants of the jungle that they're playing to. Now they're going to play to this bottom side. Get these turrets down. Mid, bot turret. Should be easy to take for them. And they're going to go ahead and split their forces. Renekton will try to flank. Looking for Sneaky.
Youmuu's goes down for Ninja. He tries to get into the fight to get a kill. Contracts almost pushes him out by himself. Gets the flash. Looks like he'll stay alive. Curtain call comes down. There's a lot of shots that go right here for C9. And it looks like the few will miss. 50 seconds on Seraph. There's a lot of time on these death timers here, and Cloud9 has a lot to work with. Yep,
Envy very scattered. Cloud9 completely grouped up, and Envy now they're doing flanks. And this is something that maybe they should have considered a little bit earlier than that. Also, look at that. Caught Impact. He still has flash.
Bot lane still getting hit up by Jensen. Doesn't even really need to come over. Impact goes down, and they say, we'll just not take the fight. Keep playing safe.
Yeah, when you don't have wave clear on like the Cloud9 composition, or as much as you would like, you just split your forces. Have that 4-1 go. There's this gigantic top lane wave that's pushing into the base. Envy will have to deal with that shortly.
Ninja trying to get in, get that attack damage down on these Baroned up minions. They did lose top inhibitor off the initial Baron play, but we're able to save most of the rest of the base. A little bit of damage on that Nexus turret.
Yeah. I feel like Apollo should really help out on those, but it's all right. They take extra magic damage from just in general. Super minions, very easy to kill with Ziggs auto attacks. Ooh, 2245.
Sorry, Mr. Bramble.
Yeah,
that looked painful.
Killed the Bramble and the Bramble's family. That was so much damage. That's more damage than Ziggs has in terms of life. One shot him, but of course uses a lot of the percent missing HP. It's kind of deceptive because like you will mostly overkill with that. You're like, oh my god,
of course.
1300 crit on the guy who had 400 HP. It's like, yeah, it only did that much with his missing HP.
But it still feels great.
It does. Those big numbers. As human beings, we like big numbers.
That's why Earth mode is awesome.
That's true. Those huge numbers where you have no idea what's going on anymore and you have millions of HP.
Well, it looks like in the small version of numbers, a third objective of Drake's being picked up here by Cloud9.
Look for Lyra.
Hook in onto Lyra, kind of slows him down. Whoa, he has to repel. That means the backline's gonna take a hit. Redemption, but it still goes over to Hakuo. Nice shot by coming in from Sneaky. The curtain call, that was the last one. I thought there was another one gonna come in. I miscalculated as the fight slows down. Hakuo
looking for Apollo.
can't shield, can't speed up, so EnVy's trying to find a way in. They can also get out safely. Contract's taking some damage. A slice out from Seraph. And he keeps himself at good range. Ninja gets the shot. Shock Blast goes off, and he does do the damage. The base getting turned into shambles by just the Winions. Apollo goes back, gets the shutdown. He throws the satchel a little too close. Can't use that as a denial of rain.
Run.
Over the minefield, slows him down. Throws another one back.
Take this.
This could be a long chase. I think he's got the execution on this one. He should just satchel himself back over the wall. He's good to go.
Impact's like, I'll hit him off at the pass.
There you go, over the wall. He's gonna back? He's back?
He's gotta execute. Or,
Oh, make up your mind!
Proxy Ziggs.
No!
Report him.
Don't get hit! Hey, Nexus turret gains a blue buff.
But C9, they'll be able to take this Elder Dragon now. No contest. Seraph doesn't have teleport. Nobody can get down here fast enough.
Ooh. Make a very powerful Cloud9 as they start to right the ship after a game one. Something they probably don't have to worry too much about. But like we said earlier, against the top teams, they will not allow you to have that much time to recuperate from a slow early game, especially as we get into the international level. Cloud9 looks to be one of those teams that could be moving on with their placement in the standings.
Yep. And they want to, that's the thing, right? When Worlds comes around, multiple teams from regions go. Whereas MSI, it's just the number one. You have to be the best of the region if you want that international experience. So Cloud9, they want to be that number one. TSM right now, sitting in that spot. Cloud9 dropping a few games, a few matches. Hurting their chance in the standings. You want that first round bye.
You want to be the very best.
The thing is, first round bye shouldn't matter because you would just beat everyone if you're the best anyway, right? Not always true, to be honest, but
it's the way it feels. I think that's what Tilt is made of.
It is true, though. There are some teams that will counter other teams' styles, even though that team may not necessarily be a better team.
It'll be interesting to see if a lot of the various picks that we see from teams, you kind of see coming in that Zig would play or somebody in the top lane. They don't transition to other NA teams. It's not like we need to play these, but those international tournaments have that effect.
Oh yeah, when somebody's
bringing a meta into play, yep.
They're just like, all right, that Soraka looks really juicy. Don't mind if I take that Aframu. All right, what counters that? Oh, let's play some Sona. Let's get some Nami in there.
Here we have Cloud9 trying to put the finishing touches to bring themselves to a game 3. And with Zig on the other, Ziggs on Apollo on the other side, it's been a bit difficult to get these waves to go all the way in with the damage followed from champions. EnVy, power and numbers, move themselves out of the base as they hear the Baron scream and go down.
And Cloud9 looking to try and close this one out. It has been a rough road for them. We're approaching 6 items for Cloud9 members. And so the gold doesn't seem to mean much after that point. EnVy will start to catch up in relative strength over time. So you want to end it now, especially with a composition like this. It's a swift hitter, but as the Renekton gets tankier, and it takes a lot more of your abilities to take him down. You get more defensive tools on your support.
Flash in, trying to get a little aggression out of EnVy. Contract's playing quite well, coming in his rookie split. Really making a statement for himself. 0-0-7 in this game. Playing the pure assist junk with damage.
Lyra?
Very tricky thing to do.
Going for Smoothie, Jensen on the side. Nice equalizer.
Has to dodge the redemption, unfortunately. You're right. Equalizer goes down, tries to deny the exit and entry into the base. Apollo just on the side. His heal summoners go down along with him. And now Cloud9 is just to the left side of EnVy. They're not even fighting him in their own base. They're just dancing this one out. And it looks like the moves from C9 choreographed a little bit better here as they enter the base. 20-5, 42 minutes in. Some decently long games between Cloud9 and EnVy here to end out the day. And we're going to a game 3 as Cloud9 picks up game 2.
Cloud9 bounce back from that game 1. They play it a little bit slower. They don't let Lyra get off the ground. Lyra ends the game 0-4-4, a 1 KDA for himself. And the rest of Cloud9 are looking great after that match, only dropping 5 kills. Exactly what you want to see from a game 2 for a team that just lost the first one.
As well, 6-1-7 for that man you just saw on your screen. Jensen playing his first Zed game of the split. Actually hovered Yasuo on that bottom side. Always loves to play the Yasuo. Must just be a little love hover, but the Zed did come out. We were hoping to see it previously, but he still performs on his beloved assassins and really creates chaos for the game.
Yeah, and you could tell Envy really just did not want him to have an assassin because they banned out the Ahri, they banned out the Talon. He still did a really good job, but I think Impact in this game was kind of the man of the hour for me because he was the guy who was throwing down the equalizers that meant a whole lot in that early game. People were kind of blast coding themselves into him and like giving him some free kills early, but he got to those double penetration items very quickly. Then he started just accelerating his build and making sure that he had the impact in the fights that he needed. And I think that last equalizer was super good because it split off 2 big parts of the team to the bottom and meant that it was right on that base gate. And you can't go through it. You can't get to the rest of your team. You have to go around to reinforce. And that's when the hooks land. And so do the shots from Sneaky.
Absolutely. Some good old top dive from C9's top lane to end out that game 2. And for more on that Cloud9 victory, let's check in with our analysts.
Thank you very much, Riv. Yeah, so interesting. Cloud9, of course, making the comeback win happen. I say comeback win. They were in control kind of the whole time, but
bounce back game 2.
The bounce back game 2. Thank you for picking my words for me. So let's look at the team comp stuff right here. I personally like the choice of going for the Zed here. Of course, yes, the Jace was grabbed and was held to be a flex pick until the very final pick. But generally, I think Zed good into Jace. Jace 80% of the time is played mid lane instead. And so that's kind of a good setup. And Jensen actually did a lot of work with the good matchup.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too in general. It's nice into the Ziggs because you know Ziggs just wants to sit mid and wave clear. So you say, all right, well, we'll pick a split pushing assassin as well. I also like Rumble for Impact because it's one of the strongest champions on the patch. Your top laner is one of your best players. If he can't play Rumble because your team doesn't work well without tanks, I think that's something you kind of have to suck up and just give him the Rumble and let him play the game out because he got counterpicked with the Renekton. Not a great matchup for Rumble at all, but he was able to farm even pretty heavily and then like actually get pressure in the lane with some good trading. So very impressive game out of Impact overall.
Yeah, interesting. I'm looking at the team comp stuff, and yeah, it was a low tank team, but they made it work. Of course, Thresh, Sweetie playing very well for himself, and what was interesting is the early game was very low impact, which was great, right? Like nothing happening at all. It was a great thing for Cloud9.
C9's ideal early game is like 15 minutes and nothing happened. Excellent.
Time to play some mid-game shot calling.
Right, and that's where they started to take over finally. It took a while before like the first couple kills started coming in, but they went all in C9's favor, and then they just kind of rolled over with that.
Right, so let's talk about the fact that we got ourselves into the mid-game eventually, where it did start working well. The 16-minute first blood, or triple first blood, tertiary blood, basically C9 getting a 3-for-0.
Yeah, and it starts kind of randomly too. Who knows how long this game would have gone without this. Lyra just face checks right into Smoothie, trying to get some deep vision down, gets chunked out early on. Blast cones over the wall, right into Impact, unfortunately, and it's fairly easy for the rest of C9 to collapse on this. A really nice equalizer there. Jensen also being able to get AoE damage down. It just sets up such an easy 3-kill advantage for C9 there. And then once they get it onto those members, I mean, Jensen was able to get a lot of kills as well as Impact. We're talking about how they have this kind of more split-up team comp, doesn't want to deal with the Ziggs in the mid lane. Nothing better than getting a bunch of gold onto your solo laners.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see the damage graph here. I mean, ridiculous damage out of the Rumble. I actually did mutter fail flash under my breath during that fight. Actually, it was Lyra going for the sweet, like, pretend you're flashing over the wall but flash into the brush juke. Problem is it was warded, but Lyra almost made like Reddit's favorite play where you flash somewhere else you don't expect to. If only it weren't warded, it would have been sick. Otherwise, though, yeah, I mean, a game that C9 just kind of walked over, right? There wasn't a lot to talk about other than the fact that the 3-for-0 happened, and then they just never lost control. No surprise, mid-game shot calling better on Cloud9 than Team Envy. I want to shout out Impact specifically for a good game. It was, and it was a player who had been hit and miss and missing kind of a lot for the last maybe 2-3 weeks of play, especially considering they just lost their last 2 matches, and he finally came in and looked quite a bit better.
Right, I think for the most part during C9's lowest looking times, it's often tied to Impact or whether or not he's even playing the game when Ray's in. So you always kind of talk about him being such a linchpin for the team and the fact that he took a very strong champion in Rumble, played it well, and was able to generate a huge advantage. Because the thing with the Rumble, the Renekton pick, was you could see that Envy's draft kind of crutched on that Jace flex pick, and they flexed it into a Renekton into Rumble matchup. And they didn't get any early game advantages with it. We saw Lyra head up there a couple times. Renekton Elise is a terrifying dive combo, and the fact that Impact basically pushed that back by himself is very impressive.
Yeah, and just kind of, you talked about the Elise joining the matchup, the Renekton as well. I do to kind of breach a more wider topics. I like the fact that EnVy are actually playing a lot of Ziggs bot. I think the champion is still super strong. I think now that really it's kind of only EnVy that are playing this in North America, I can't think of another team that plays this champion a lot. Like, no teams are practicing against Ziggs bot anymore. Like, maybe you scrimmed against it way back in the day, but, you know, now the bot lane meta is different. Like, have you ever played as real Ziggs before? Probably, maybe not, right? Like, Caitlyn Ziggs, maybe not. So, you know, it's new matchups, and again, they're playing double AD, but they're playing magic damage jungle, magic damage the bot lane. I think it is very strong, and I like to see a team do these things. Unfortunately, though, the whole roster's not playing all that well.
For sure. I think you can look at this draft and say it's not normal, it's not ideal, and like what you expect out of the meta, but it does work sometimes for EnVy. The big problem was that those early game champions that they took did not do anything early game, and we know C9, as soon as they get through that early game untouched, they're probably going to outperform you in the mid game.
Right, and unfortunately, of course, though the bot lane could pressure quite a bit, you've got, I think it was Karma Ziggs, right, which is like plenty of kind of pressure down there on the bot side. Like, you can hard shove, you can go for the turret damage, and yet the first turret that was actually killed by Team EnVy was like 25 minutes in after this. All 3 outers were already killed on the C9 side, so just things not panning out, which is kind of unlucky for them, though I do think compositionally it could have worked.
Yeah, and I think moving into game 3, maybe C9 starts targeting it, because, I mean, I think Apollo is definitely someone who you might be able to get advantages on in lane if you're trying to get stuff going a little bit earlier. You know Ninja and Seraph have their kind of crazy counter picks, so it can be hard to force through the draft phase and the advantage there, because they might have something crazy. They are moving back to the blue side, a little bit hard to get counter pick on that side, though.
Yeah, it's true. You got to kind of have all the pressure of like, ooh, we can take the Lulu away, we can take the Malzahar away. Really important champions here in the draft that we can look at. So yeah, we'll see if the draft changes any. Of course, both teams have won a single game. They've both won on blue side, so we'll see if this changes up in game 3. But the teams with this tie can, of course, either one can claim a win. Meet us back here for game 3 as we figure out who's going to take the decider.
Sneaky, I'm so jealous that you can do this on 8 ping.
Are you playing Heartseeker?
Yeah.
Ooh. The music when you recall is great, and then you whip out like a table and a chair.
Sneaky, I invite you to my candlelit dinner.
Slow. Redemption. Thanks, Ziggs. Nice, good job.
We can
end. Just end it. Yeah, just end. And end.